I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine.
Hey everyone, and welcome to my April monthly reset. I have so many fun things to share with you today, and also some really helpful resources specifically around home organization, decluttering, and also finances. As you know, I've been sharing in my monthly resets here some of the goals that I've had and the approaches and strategies I've used to achieve those goals. And there's one thing in particular that happened when I was doing a monthly reflection last month, and I realized how this one mistake that I was making in my goal to declutter and organize my home really rolled over into my finances, and it could roll over into any other area of my life. And I wanted to share this with you guys today because I really think it could be something helpful and something relatable. Now, I have a reflection piece of my monthly resets. I think it was my February monthly reset where I shared in detail some of the prompts that I've been using from the planners that I bought to use this year on how to look back and do a monthly reflection if you're interested in that. But I want to integrate just some of those pieces of that reflection into the different things that we talk about here today, because I really want to be able to share this because I do think it might help you. So when I'm looking back at some of my goals for decluttering and organizing my home, I'm not somebody who's striving to be a minimalist, but I'm also not somebody who has my entire house full of clutter. But I definitely have some problems with my closets. If you were to open up any of them, they're pretty full, or my basement is atrocious. So I definitely have areas here in my home that I want to declutter. Now, working through those goals, I remembered a professional organizer that I have followed for many years. I love her. I've shared her many times on this channel, but if you're new to me, here's her book, Organizing from the Inside Out. Her name is Julie Morgenstern. Now, you guys, there is guidance in the book very early on three primary reasons that causes clutter in a home, and the 6 mistakes that are really common that people make when it comes to organizing their home. So I created a dedicated video, and I think I shared that 2 weeks ago, so I will link that one down below on my channel. But there was one mistake in particular that I realized that I was not only making in my home organization and the goals there, but also how that could easily roll over to finances or my goals to exercise more, or those things as well. So I wanted to share that with you, and here it is. So one of the mistakes that we commonly make is we may have a home organization system that we set up, and when we're setting it up, it seems like a really great idea, but it's too complex or it's too confusing, and we end up just not using it. And that's where clutter can accumulate because we have no organization system for paperwork or whatever that might be. In that video that I filmed, I did share the example where when I started taking care of my father, so if you don't know, my father had Alzheimer's, and he did pass away last year after Christmas. But for many years, I was his primary caregiver. And when I started that role, I remember really wanting to make sure that I just took the very best care of my dad that I could. And so not only was I responsible for all of his finances, but his medical care and his medications and daily living, those kind of things. But I set up this system. And what I realized with the organization system, to make sure I didn't miss property taxes or bills or prescriptions or anything like that, I had made a filing system and an organization system to house all of my dad's records. It was just too complicated. It wasn't necessary for me to get as granular as I did, and therefore it was something that I didn't end up using. And I remembered that, and I related that more to my finances too. Am I setting up some goals and making things too complex with my approach? Because you guys, when I'm helping people change their behavior, sometimes there's a cognitive process that has to go on, and that's just simply more of a mindset and the psychology of things and the way that we're looking at them, versus some behavioral processes, which would be taking specific action on your goals. Which, by the way, I'm Berta. If you're new here, thank you so much for watching this video. I should probably introduce myself. My name is Berta. I'm a Mayo Clinic trained and board certified health and wellness specialist, and where I specialize is behavior change. So I wanted to sit down and share this with you guys today, and share how when I reflected back and saw that, and moving forward for April and my goals and in this monthly reset, there are a bunch of different resources that I wanted to share, because I think that if you have a goal for finances, for example, and maybe you're intimidated by your finances, or they're just confusing for you, or the systems are so complex, and maybe all of these spreadsheets that you see everybody using, that they look great and they're pretty and they have all these charts and graphs, or maybe there's apps that you've tried to download and use, whatever that might look like for you, where it's caused problems. So I wanted to share some resources with you, a couple in particular, relating that to finances. So the first one I want to share is a book and something to help people if they are really intimidated by the whole world of money and investing or budgets or debt or whatever it might be that you're struggling with. Now, if you missed it last month, so my March monthly reset, I shared a ton of resources regarding finances in that. So part of the work that I do is once a month, this is free by the way, if you want to sign up for this, once a month I create content just like this, and I will find reputable resources that I'm using or things that I'm using with my clients, and I send that to people that are on my VIP list. It's just a way that I've done for over 10 years now. On the first of every month, I send that out for free. So last month in the monthly reset, I showed you guys one that I did that was dedicated to finances, and I shared financial experts that I follow and different reputable resources that you could use for improving your finances. And I shared a book that I really like called The Psychology of Money, and shared some of my insights when I read that book. So I will also link that if you want to go grab that as a resource as well. But I also wanted to share this with you here today. So I'm a big reader, and every day I will look at the Kindle deals, and this happened to be one of them. Now this is a page in the middle of it, and I think I'm probably going to have to put some B-roll here so that you can see this up close. But there's a book that I purchased this month, and it's called Napkin Finance. So this was one of the daily deals, and I'm so glad I got it. This particular idea of this napkin finance is, you know how somebody might have a brilliant business idea, they're sitting at a bar and they sketch it all out on a napkin? The author did it with this particular book as well, which again, I'll put B-roll if you can't see this when I'm editing, where the example, here's the budget. And there is a napkin with lots of colorful graphics and an easy way to digest investing or debt or retirement accounts or whatever they could be that maybe you're trying to work on in your finances. You guys, it reminded me of this book here that was given to me. It's a guide to understanding money investing in 1998. I was looking at it. This was given to me in 1998. I was in my 20s out in the Silicon Valley. I had moved out there to do my thesis after college in Minnesota, and there was a woman and her husband. There was a woman I worked with, and her husband gave that book to me, and I guess I should show you why I thought of it. Is inside the book is kind of similar, where it had a bunch of things that were just easy to digest in little pieces. Here's why I'm sharing this with you. I think this is a good resource and to help you if by chance you're one of those folks that do kind of just struggle with finance as a whole and how to do a cognitive process or a way of looking at things that would not be intimidating or confusing or complex. And I want to tie in that mistake that I was talking about with regards to clutter or organizing your home, that if we create something too complicated, too complex, or we think we have to use this app or we have to use these spreadsheets, you don't. In fact, you guys, last month I was really resistant to showing you my budget, not because I was afraid of like numbers or anything that were on there, but because it was so simple. Do you remember me saying that? If you watched my March reset, I debated because it's so basic. But maybe that's why I've used it for so many years. It's just so easy that it works for me. And I will link that again below too in case that you are interested in seeing that. So I just wanted to share that because you'll see there's a theme throughout this whole monthly reset for me is sometimes with regards to motivation, if you're having a hard time being motivated to do certain things, you might need to reduce the barrier to you taking action. So it's one thing to have the mindset work and that cognitive processes and the psychology of things going on there. But if you realize that you're constantly resisting something, it might be just something the motivation's not there because the task is too high. We have to have it at levels that are doable for us. At least in the beginning, these small steps, they're fine. Now, I do have some finance goals, and I'll share those with you in just a bit when we get to the goals section. But what I want to move into next on my reset here is movement and exercise. If you're someone who has a goal that you'd like to move more, this will be for you as well. So I've had some health challenges that I've let you guys know about in the past few videos where being able just to move the way I want to, the strength, the flexibility, some things, I've had some challenges, but I'm at a point now with all the PT that I've gone to that I really can step up my game. But when I looked back at my monthly reflection, I didn't. And I don't know why. And so just like I am with my clients, I sat down and I tried to figure out what were the barriers? What was the reason I wasn't taking the action that I wanted to with regards to a goal to move more? So I'm trying to really look at my circumstances and situations I find myself in right now, and I'd encourage you to do the same thing. What's getting in the way? And one of the big things that always comes up that's super common, I'm sure you can relate to, is time. When something is competing with my time, when I'm super busy, I know that there'll be friction there. And so I have to figure out some ways maybe to get creative on that. So what I did is I realized a few things. One was time, that I was really kind of struggling with fitting in the things that I wanted to. So what I did is I also brainstormed. Again, this is exactly what I do with my clients. I encourage you to do the same thing. Once you've identified what the barriers are, what's getting in the way, then you switch to a focused mindset of solving. So instead of the problem-focused coping that we're doing and kind of looking at all these things, we do solution-based, and we look at what could be a possible thing we try, and we just experiment and see if it works. So I came up with 3 ways for me to tackle and try to increase this resistance that I was feeling to the next stage of my exercise goals. The first thing is it just weren't fun. Now, I'm someone who actually likes the treadmill and I like running, but some of those things I can't do just yet. My body's just not ready for that, and just things weren't fun. I hated the PT exercises, to be honest with you. It was something that I really didn't want to do, and I was really good about doing them for a while, but now I'm in this little stage, I don't know how to describe it, but it just wasn't fun. So what I did is I made a conscious effort to recruit my dog, who is always game, for more activity. So I set up a plan that the daily walks that we'd have just weren't enough. So I set up, even if it was a 5 to 10 minute walk outside for me to have a break during the day, I started doing that more often with my dog. Because again, he's always game. Now here's the deal, you guys. 5 to 10 minutes, and I think what happens with a lot of people, just like if you only saved $10 or you didn't spend the $10, something so small that you think is just not significant enough that it won't matter. But it does, because what we're talking about is creating behavior and patterns in behavior where I move more. And that was the whole goal. So I was trying to figure out what ways could I make it fun and that were easy to do. So I don't want to have this big bout of motivation to do it. My dog and going out for 5 minutes, I can do that. And doing that multiple times a day adds up. So that was one avenue I took, was making it fun. The second thing is I started pairing movement and activity with a goal I was already doing, and that was my decluttering. And so decluttering comes with some cleaning. And I've often done this in the past too, or kind of step up my game, where you can absolutely get a workout in when you're cleaning. No question about it. Your elevated heart rate and things like that. But even just the movement that comes along with decluttering. It makes me just move more. So I try to pair it with an activity and another goal that I already have. Now the third way I came up with is novelty. I'm going to use novelty in my favor because for me, I don't mind being a beginner. I don't mind looking silly or not knowing something. I love learning. So I'm taking one of my strengths, which is a love of learning. I love to learn and grow. And just figure out different ways that I can move. So there could be some exercise routines or exercise I've never tried before, different instructors maybe, and I've never tried this or that. And so I'm just trying to use novelty because that's fun for me. I love learning. And that would be something I could do to move more. So I wanted to share that with you guys as well. So when I'm reflecting back and I'm disappointed in some things in the past in March where they didn't unfold the way I wanted them to with regards to exercise and movement, I needed to get real and just really start looking, okay, this has been 2 months in a row now where I didn't hit these targets. What's getting in my way? And I'd recommend that you have an honest conversation with yourself too. If that might be you, then brainstorm. What are some possible things that you could try, some solutions to be able to do that? So those were the exercise ones. Now on to goal setting. So goals that I set up for April, I'm actually really excited about these. So I'm really glad I took the time to do all the reflection pieces that I need to last night. Now, you guys remember that habit tracker that I showed you last month? And if you haven't, I'll link that below. But that also had that bonus section of goal setting. So I did toy around and kind of play around with that. But for the purposes of this video and the monthly reset, I'll just share I have some goals that I've set for April. And one of them is money and finances. And this is a super simple, small goal, but I want it to be achievable because you know how I talk about decluttering, and I know that there's stuff that'll be of value that I want to sell and I want to use that to beef up my retirement. Well, I haven't taken any action on listing or selling anything, and I can't understand why that was either. Like, what's the problem with me trying to put something that I know has value, let somebody else be able to enjoy that or use that? Why don't I list on Facebook Marketplace or something like that? So I honestly don't know why I was resisting that. So I set a goal, and it's just to sell something and earn $25 by selling something that I have decluttered. So I have no problem going and dropping stuff off to donate and no trouble throwing stuff away during my declutter. But that one piece where I could actually earn some revenue from some stuff is still sitting in boxes. So I have a goal just to get myself in that behavior piece. So the actual behavior process and taking action, that's one goal that I have. So if I come back here next month and I haven't done that, definitely hold me accountable. All right, what's the other one? I'm looking over here at my notes that I have. Oh, exercise. So I shared with you the 3 different pieces that I'm going to use, the novelty piece and making it fun, and then also combining it with other stuff. But I do have a goal for 2 strength training sessions. And again, I'm not going to be complex. I'm not going to make it too difficult or confusing. That one mistake that I made regarding the decluttering, rolling over into finances, also my exercise. If I have to use super light weights, so be it. If that reduces the barrier to me to actually doing those strength training 2 times a week, that's what I'm going to do. So that's my goal for that one. Sleep is my next one. I've struggled with sleep for a while, and there's things that I know I can do that I haven't been with regards to sleep hygiene at night, stop working at a certain hour. But one that's super simple, again, theme of this whole video today, is why make anything complex? Why make my sleep routine or anything that's getting in the way of me getting good sleep harder when it doesn't have to be? And one of the most basic things that I realized looking back on this is blue light glasses. So I have blue light glasses, but they're in my old prescription, and I do a lot of work on the computer. And I want to make sure that I don't let that impact my sleep, because I really do think it is. Not only working late can do that, but just that blue light. There's absolutely no reason I can't go on and Amazon, Walmart, wherever, just buy a really cheap pair of blue light glasses in the bumped up prescription until I get to my optometrist, which I've already been there. But I don't have to make this long, drawn out process that I have to wait 3 or 4 months to get into the eye doctor to be able to go get the prescription glasses, get the blue light filter. This is an easy solution. There would be no reason for me not to do this. So that is my goal, to do that. So I think that is it. I have some career ones there, but I know you won't be interested in those. All right, you guys, so I'm going to move on to a new section I'm going to add and then wrap everything up, and it would be favorites. I thought I would share a few favorites in this video. I always like that when people share theirs. So there's just 3, but they're really fun, and I wanted to share them with you today. And the first one is candles. I don't know if you're like me, but I love candles. And I have a few, all in this one particular brand here that I have in front of me. So they are $12, maybe $12.50 at Walmart, but they're a brand called Allswell. And I wanted to share these. I have a ton of the different scents here in front of me. At my father's funeral, this was the one that we burned. It was really pretty. In the sanctuary of the church that he went to almost his whole life, we had this candle going, but we also had tons of little ones in the whole sanctuary. It was just really, really pretty. But you guys, the candle, I could smell this thing in the sanctuary. It was not overpowering or awful like that, but it was one of those things where you get a candle, it smells really good, but then it doesn't throw the scent at all in your home, if you know what I mean. These ones are really good. In fact, let me show you this one. It's my favorite. This one's called Glow, and what is it? Vanilla, pear, and coconut. And they have a tranquil one that I have here. This balanced one is a balsam, mahogany, and what else? Musk on that one. They also have this lemon zest one and sage, a refresh. So I wanted to share these with you because they're much more affordable, I think, than a lot of candles that you might have to pay for, and have really good scents with those. So those are one of my favorites. Next, I'm going to share with you has to do with the shirt that I'm wearing today, and it's Diane von Furstenberg's collaboration that she had with Target this month. This book is something that I've had for many years. In fact, this came out in the late 90s. I bought this book because I'm a big reader. I'm not into fashion, by the way, at all. Hair, makeup, fashion, that's all lost on me. As you know, I always wear t-shirts, crew necks in my videos. If I'm doing a teaching gig or I'm doing a segment on TV, I'll dress up. But this book I read just because I was interested. I love reading people's stories, and she is so inspiring. But I wanted to share these journals that I bought as part of her collaboration. I can't get over the qualities. They're $10, and I think they're still available. It's one of the few things that are left in her collaboration. But everything, like the detail that she has for everything on these journals. You guys, if you are someone that's into journaling, I just filmed a video, which I think I shared last week. I'll link it down below, of my top 5 journals. And I shared in there that the journaling prompts, a lot of times I won't write in my actual journal, but I'll buy a separate line journal like this to write my answers in so that I can keep using those journals over and over again. So I just wanted to share these really quick because they're just beautiful journals, and I can't believe they're only $10. I don't know, I was really jazzed by them, so I wanted to share those as well. So I have one more to share with you. I was watching a training by Dr. Stephen Kopetsky, who is a cardiologist at Mayo Clinic, and I've also shared him on my channel with you guys. I really love learning from him. He had training that he was delivering relating, what's the best diet for someone to follow, and he was sharing an analogy with a marriage and how it can be a lot like a marriage, where a lot of times what's going to happen is you find your person and you set out to live the rest of your life with that person. You may have some ups and downs, or you have times where you get in a rut, and same with food, that maybe you have the same food over and over again. And much like a marriage, maybe you need to spice things up sometimes. So he's talking about using spices. I just love learning from him. He's just so humble too, by the way. He's so smart. But these analogies that he was talking about using spices, and he said, if you think of turmeric, don't go out and just take a supplement, but use those in your recipes and the flavor. So I know what I'm about to show you is not what he was talking about at all, but I did kind of relate it to that. And what it is, you might have seen these in some of my videos, it's probiotic soda. So I know that these are really popular right now, but I haven't seen people talk about these ones. These are Culture Pop sodas. I find these at Walmart, and they're a lot more affordable than the other ones I have. But here's where I'm relating that to the spices that Dr. Kopetsky was talking about. For example, this one here is an orange mango, and it has chili powder in it. which I know sounds really weird, and you definitely taste it in this, but I really like it. I thought, gosh, that was such a unique thing. You know, the probiotics obviously are in there as well. This is the wild berries in line, and I wrote down which one. This has peppercorn and basil in it, which again, I know I'm probably sharing these, they sound weird, but they're so good. I love these things. And then the last one is strawberry rhubarb. We had these massive rhubarb patches when I was growing up, and my mother used to always make these amazing strawberry rhubarb pies and cakes, and I lost my mom many years ago to cancer, and it just, I don't know, there's something maybe nostalgic about this that I like this one, but this one had Parmesan in it as well. So I just wanted to share these, or something I have been enjoying, definitely a favorite. So I hope that you enjoyed this reset. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to join the VIP list and get the content for free that I was mentioning, you can join us there at bertavip.com. I appreciate you guys letting me share this with you. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I will see you next time.